Welcome to another episode of What If with Wit. This week's topic is going to get a little personal. It's going to talk about something that I've had to deal with in my life, and after talking with people this week, I've learned that other people have had to deal with it in their life. So, here we go! Welcome back to another episode of What If with Wit. This week I'm going to talk about what if we were always right. I have always struggled with this. I am a perfectionist at anything that I do. I put in 110% and then some. I am a person that is very giving, very generous. I give my time to different organizations, people, different things, but I always feel like I'm wrong. That's something that I've always struggled with, and it's kind of hard to get over in your 20s because, you've struggled with it for 20-some years. I was speaking with someone at work this week, and she just comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Brittany, do you ever feel like you are just doing everything wrong?" And I'm like, I don't ever feel like I'm doing anything right. So this is something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's not something that people really talk about, and I feel like it's a topic that people should really understand because you're okay if you're not doing everything right. You do not have to be a perfect person. The things that we go through in this web series that I remind you of in every episode is what if, then what, and then now what. So my what if is really just basic, like what if we were never wrong? Then we wouldn't really have the ability to know opposition. We wouldn't really have the ability to share our opinions because if we're always right, would we even have an opinion? This is very kind of a controversial topic, especially with the different political things that are going on in our country right now. There are a lot of people that believe that everybody's wrong and that everybody does things for their reason because they're right in their head. Well, they might think that they're right in their head, so we can't really judge them based on that. A little story that I have about always being wrong. I am a person that loves to fact check people, and I love being able to prove that I'm right. So when I was in high school, I was in an ROTC program, which is like a junior program to the actual ROTC. And I had to write a paper about some weird topic that my sergeant major gave me, and he made sure that the topic that I wrote about was going to be false and that it would bring up false information because he hated the way that I fact-checked him all the time. It was a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. I thought that I wrote this glorious 5-page paper as a high school sophomore, and then he was like, "All of your sources are wrong." And I was like, "No, I don't know what you mean." He goes, "Oh, half of this is plagiarized and all of the sources are wrong." And I'm like, "I don't know what you mean. I wrote this paper out of my knowledge in textbooks." And he goes, "Yeah, well, the topic isn't right because I didn't give it to you all the way." And I'm like, "Oh, great." So that was my first real big lesson in life that you can't always be right because you're not always going to be right. So now what? Now what can we do as a society to kind of keep our thoughts inside of our head and only project them if we feel like we are being attacked? I feel like that is the only time that you should ever state an opinion about something, is if you feel like you're being attacked for having that opinion about something. I grew up in the LDS Church, which a lot of you know as Mormons, and a lot of people have things to say about the church and the way I live, and they're their opinions, they're not facts. And it's very interesting to see that, and to see, as I am a very dedicated Republican throughout this last 4 years, to see how times have changed and everybody thinks that now because they think, oh, freedom of speech and freedom of all this, that they can just tell me why it's bad that I'm a Republican or why it's bad that I am an LDS member, and that's not right. So now that we know that we can't always be right, which I know is sad, and I know it's kind of a social injustice to some people, but just remember that if you are stating your opinion to someone, that's your opinion. It could be an actual fact, but they're going to take it and they're going to use it in a way that they may think that you are ostracizing them to something that you might not be doing. So now, as a society, we can stand up to the different people that are stating their opinions without your permission. And make sure that you aren't giving an opinion about something or stating a fact about something that could not be true. And then we'll be able to get along together. So this is my What If with Wit. And remember, be kind to everyone, because you never know what's going to happen in the world.